you're around people who are crazy, can't control their emotions, are always complaining about a bunch of stuff, your life is going to get worse. I don't care how successful you are. If you take that same person that's stressed and you put them around 5 people who are making $1 million a year, who are positive, who work out, who have an incredible mindset, your life is going to get better. You see how simple this is?
Perfectly coiffed hair, looks neat and presentable all the time. He is the Mitt blockchain CEO.
Guest was one of the first and youngest names in the crypto space. Let's bring in Mitt Group CEO Grant Mitt.
Tea-time like I got a cup of tea-time like golf at 5:45. I love a regular famous host lame, but they still.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Grant Mitt Podcast, episode number 64. And in this episode, we're going to be discussing the information gap, the people and the information needed to achieve your goals. Think about if right now you are amazing at running $1 million business. You've never done anything bigger, but you know how to build a $1 million business. That means even if you stopped what you're doing right now, if you had a product or service that you know remotely well, you could, like this, in 2 to 3 months, likely build up that business to have $1 million operation. If you're an engineer, if you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, whatever the case is, and you know that trade and that specific output, whether it's $100,000 a year, $300,000 a year, you could switch to a different company, a different part of the United States. You could do anything of that nature and pretty much instantaneously have that same or general production that you were doing before. Why? Because you have the experience, the know-how, and you've went through all the struggles and the issues to be able to produce that specific result. Now, let's say that you're making $100,000 a year or $300,000 or whatever that number is, and you want to multiply that to a bigger level. Or let's say you have a business that's revenue $1 million and you want to make it a $10 million business or $100 million business. The gap that's going to take to get to that next level or that next number, or to go from working in this small company to this massive company or move into this leader position, is experience and know-how and allocating the right talent, information, and people in a specific way. Now, instead of waiting all of these years and going through all these different mistakes, here's an example. A stupid person doesn't learn from their mistakes. A smart person learns from their mistakes, and a genius learns from other people's mistakes. What I learned is when I started my company, Mitt Group, and we were super successful, we grew, I was great at solar, I was great at sales, I knew it like the back of my hand. But what I had to do is I had to learn operations. I had to learn managing cash flow. I had to learn marketing. I had to learn all these different sectors of the business, project management, how to deal with escalations, how to deal with stuff on the legal side. There was all these things that I didn't know. Here was the problem, the mistake that I made, is I faced each one of those new challenges and I would just solve it, I'd figure it out, and then I'd go through enough hell that eventually I would just become pretty good at it. And if all I did instead is paid someone to be my mentor that had been through all of those things that I'd been through in that first couple years of a business that were successful and that were 10 times further along, and I paid them, let's say $10,000, I could have added millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars of revenue, if not more, to the company and eliminated so many jobs, mistakes, issues, and costly failures. With just investing $10,000, it could have turned into millions and millions of dollars. Or what I could have done is I could have hired someone that had operated a company that had done what I was trying to do and had been through all those different things and put him on a salary position and had him work with me and teach me all those different things so I knew how so I could make effective decisions as a leader. I didn't do that. So I had to go through all those failures and processes and systems. And it's funny, I was having this conversation recently. I said, I was telling this to my brother. I said, Reagan, could you imagine if I could pick up the phone and we could have a conversation? Like I could call myself right now, or I could call someone in the company and say, hey, you've been in the company now for 3-4 years. What are the mistakes that we made and what things should we not do so we could be more successful now? So in other words, if I could just have an hour-long conversation with my future self, I could know all of the perfect things. Don't mess up here. Don't hire this person. Hire this person. Don't get this law firm. Get this one. Use this lead generation company. Use this marketing tactic. Change this. If I knew all of those things 5 years in advance, would you do it? Of course. But unfortunately, I'm not a time traveler and I don't have any way of doing that. And neither I don't think you do as well. So how would we fast track and have that conversation? You have to find information and people that you can learn from to shorten the information gap to expedite how quickly it takes for you to be successful. Let me give you an example. Now I've been through so many damn challenges and I continue to go through more as I scale and grow. And like right now I'm in the process of going from an 8 to a 9-figure business and what that takes and who it takes and what capital and what all these different moving parts that I'm learning. And what I've learned now is I could build a $10, $20, $30 million business like that. Solar could cease to exist right now. And within 6 months, I would have a completely different business that's doing revenue pretty much of that same or right around that same number. Now, what I'm learning and developing on, and this is why you guys remember, I'm not this guru that's 50 years old that built $1 billion company. I'm in the process of doing that. But I'm learning to build a 9-figure company, which means I have to do things differently, 10-figure company, whatever the case is. But let's say that you were in a bar, you were hanging out with your friends, and Elon Musk walked in. And y'all hit it off and became friends and were cool, and you had some idea that he really loved. Could you, if you partnered with Elon Musk, and this was a great idea, or maybe a better, innovative way to do something, is there a great chance that you would have $1 billion valuation within about a year, 2 year and a half, if not sooner? Of course. Why? Because Elon Musk has built, I think, 5 or 6 different $1 billion companies in the last 10 years, which means he knows how to allocate talent, resources, attention, information into one specific area and build a successful company. I don't know that yet. So if you needed to build a $10 billion company, unfortunately, I'm not the person for that. I could teach you sales, I could teach you marketing, I could teach you a lot of things that can help you grow it, but I haven't built the $10 billion company. There's a great chance I will, but it's going to require me going out and finding those specific people. So what my point is that if you want to scale anything that you're doing, or become, instead of being the 10th best sales rep, becoming the first sales rep, who do you need to talk to? Who do you need to learn from? Who do you need to study? The top sales rep. You see how simple this is? So the difference between you not or actually achieving your goal is simply having the right talent and information, okay? So what I'm going to do is kind of walk you through 3 simple steps to do this and how to implement into your career, your business, or your goals. And they're very simplistic, but the details are the complex portion that you need to master and you have to be able to get down, all right? Number 1, find out where you can get the information you don't know now that you need to know, and go study it and implement it as fast as possible. If you have to pay someone to do it, if you have to buy a course, if you have to go to a convention of some sort, an event, if you need to go talk to the smartest person or read the right book, sit on hours every day on YouTube, do it. There's things this year, I always tell you guys, one of the biggest things that you can implement into your lives that can cause you to become more successful, help your career and business grow, is to spend 45 to 60 minutes a day simply learning and developing yourself. And my favorite saying is life gets better when you do. If you look at your current situation now and you're not fully happy where you are now, it's because you don't know the right information and you don't have the right experience to produce the results that you want. This is simple. If you knew what to do, you would not have the problem that you have right now. It would be handled. You wouldn't be stressing about this person that you work with or this company or this boss. You would know how to get in the right situation, the right company, or resolve that issue. You would know how. If you knew how to build this multi-million-dollar company or become this number 1 sales rep and make $500,000 a year and you had the skill set, the talent, and the information to do so, you would already be doing it. This is a common theme. What's missing here? The information. Where do you find the information that you need to solve the problems that you are facing now and to elevate your life and your business? Go find that information. The simplest way to do this is, if you want to become the best sales rep, ask yourself a simple question. What people in the world have access to the best sales training that you can read their books, listen to their pitches and scripts, systems, processes, everything? Or what is the best person in your industry? Who are they? What are their traits? What information they know? Where do they go to school? What things do they do every single day? When you find out who produces what you want, now the answer is simple. You just need to learn every single thing that they've written, talked about, or ever communicated in their entire life and absorb all of that information and then implement it into your life. This is what's so key, and this is what changed my life. When I was living in Brooklyn, New York, I was in a shoebox apartment with 5 different teammates. I couldn't rub 2 pennies together, as broke as could be. What changed my life is sitting in Barnes & Noble and studying all the people that I wanted to be like. For a year straight, I studied the most talented people that are currently living or have passed everything they've spoken, written, interviewed, mistake, success, everything. So now I have that information in my head. That's how at 24, I was able to build a multi-million-dollar company on my own with no investors, nothing, because I had the right information and skill sets that I possess, and I just simply did it. The same thing works in your way. You got to find the right information. 2, you got to find the people that you can work with, you can work for, or they can work for you that are better at what you do right now. Meaning, do I understand finance pretty well? Yes. Am I a CFO? No. Do I have the basic understandings of engineering? Yes. Am I an engineer? No. Do I understand the basics of the law, how, lawsuits work, how contracts work? Yeah, I understand the basics. Can I make a decision if I'm around a smart person? Yes. But am I a lawyer? No. So here's a common theme. I need to find people who do things 100 times better than I can and work with them, for them, or they work on your team. When your team gets better, or the information and the people that you're around gets better, everything gets better. The problem always goes back to the people that are on your team, who you're around, who you work with, who you work around, who you date, who you're friends with. People produce everything. When you look at a company, you look at a sports team, all it is an allocation of talent. The best sports teams have the best players. The best companies have the best employees. When you look at the most successful businesses right now, why is Tesla winning? Tesla is winning because they have the best engineers in the world right now. Why has Apple been so successful? They have the best and most talented employees in the world. All you need to do to fix and improve your life is to have smarter, better, and more talented human beings around you. When you're around people who are crazy, can't control their emotions, are always complaining about a bunch of stuff, your life is going to get worse. I don't care how successful you are. If you take that same person that's stressed and you put them around 5 people who are making $1 million a year, who are positive, who work out, who have an incredible mindset, your life is going to get better. You see how simple this is? We're just sometimes around really shitty people who aren't doing anything in life, don't add any value to any lives of the people around them, and we wonder why we're not successful. We wonder why we're so damn stressed all the time. It's because you hang out with shitty people. You may work around really bad people. Be around the best of the best, and that's when your life improves. What I started doing to kind of backtrack, and we're talking about finding the right people, is when I started hiring and outsourcing, whether it's contracting or whatever, people who are the best of the best in their field, lawyers, accountants, finance people, salespeople, sales leaders, the company skyrocketed. It felt like I was a super genius, Not because I was making all the decisions, but because we had a team that was so good, that was better than myself. So we were able to elevate. When your team gets better, when your information that you know gets better, you get better. 3, when you get these people in your corner, when you get the information that you need to know, the key is to implement these items as fast as humanly possible. Do not wait. Don't wait for the perfect opportunity. Don't wait till you feel that it's correct. Get talent in your corner and implement. And it's important that you keep intelligent people that are around you to hold you accountable and to actually give you real-time feedback. You need to make adjustments and changes in your life as fast as humanly possible. I know your mom and your dad goes, guys, you have time. You're going to work the rest of your life. Don't listen to that. Implement ASAP. Make the necessary changes and improve. There is no time to waste, and you do not get a gold star or $1 million for going through a lot and being stressed. Guys, no one cares. The market doesn't care. The customer doesn't care. And people that you work for, I know we'd like to think that, they care, but they probably don't. Everyone wants success in production. Everyone has a family to feed. You need to execute, work swiftly, and implement these procedures and processes. So what I want you guys to do, as you're taking notes on this, if you haven't already, pull out your notepad or notes in your phone, and I want you to assess your current life. I want you to figure out, look, what are you making? What are the current things that you don't know? And I want you to ask yourself this question. If you're on this journey of being successful, if you could call yourself from 10 years from now and get all the advice and learn all the failures, 10 years of learning in one call, what questions would you ask yourself? Write all those questions down, and I want you to then go find someone that's living right now, whether it's a book, whether it's a YouTube video, or a person that you can pay for consulting, and I want you to get those questions answered now. Then, whether it's a book in YouTube and it's free, or you invest a couple $1,000 into getting a consultant or someone that you can learn from, anything, you could save 10 years of failures and mistakes for free to worst case a couple $1,000 and change your entire life and expedite your success 10 years in advance by simply thinking like a genius, not just a normal person that wants to succeed and work hard. You have to think different to become successful. So I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. As always, you guys can check me out on all my social media channels at Grant Mitt. If you guys enjoyed this podcast, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review. And as always, I hope you guys have an incredible week, and I'll see you guys again for episode 65. Thanks, guys.